Hello, my name is Toni Nielson, and I'm adjudicating the Griffith versus Salamone debate. Sorry if I just said your name wrong. There are some things I liked very much about this debate. You both know the historical figures in your party and a number of important policies of your respective parties. You both defend your own party quite well. You both present your arguments well in terms of delivery and are respectful to each other. I thought those were all excellent qualities of this debate. Um, I do think the biggest thing that could be would improve both sides dramatically is that there is no good way to choose between the parties. Why is one superior to the other, so to speak, in an overall sense? In this debate, there needs to be a criteria that explains how I choose in either overall in the debate or in each particular area of education, social issues, and the economy. For example, how am I to choose if you win one issue but lose another issue? Which issue should be the most important issue in the debate? Um, uh, should I just deflect to the whatever is best for the great majority of the population? Ultimately, this is what I decided to do on each issue. I thought about each issue based on the debate in order to determine who had best debated that issue for the overall American public, meaning that in terms of education, which party would have the best platform that would help the most Americans. In terms of social issues, what would be best for the most Americans. In terms of the economy, what would be best for the most Americans. Unfortunately, there was really no other way for me to determine the debate because there was no overall guiding principle for me to sort through each issue. Terminally, I decided that the proposition wins two of the three key issues. So, therefore, I voted for the proposition. Uh, I'll discuss each of those issues now. Education. How am I to choose between private schools and public schools? Well, as I said earlier, I'm going to default to what I think is the best for the majority of Americans based on the debate at hand. Clearly, public schools have a larger reach. In this debate, the voucher system is not particularly well explained, and it is really just presented as private markets taking over schooling. I don't understand why this would be valuable for the great majority of the U.S. who are currently in public schools. And as the opposition says, it would be very difficult for many people to pay for private schools. If all schools were private, then wouldn't everyone be paying for schools? If so, it just seems like there are a number of people that could not afford to do that. The opposition should probably explain how the voucher system would be inclusive of everyone and improve everyone's education, because some people getting better grades means that some people will go to better colleges, but this does not seem like it would apply to the majority of Americans. And I mean, even the opposition says that some people would just have to go out and get a job. That is fine for the economy as an issue, but it is not good in terms of education as an issue. What if I don't want to go get a job? I have decent grades, but I want to go to school. Now what? I think that you really just need to debate this voucher issues better. There's a lot more to vouchers that should be said on both sides, and it would be better, given that this is a clear policy issue, the most important policy issue of the propositions, you should spend more time on this. Social issues. Apparently, the vast majority of Americans are conservatives. This is undebated by the proposition. So, what am I to do with this fact? Well, if the majority is in favor of social issues, then I guess theoretically being conservative would be what would be best for the American public, because the majority are conservative. The proposition should probably explain why it is important to the majority to protect minorities. Yeah, this is a critical portion of the debate for the proposition, and I don't think it's a part of the debate that the proposition is winning. They are not winning that a majority of the American public are liberal or, would lean liberal on social issues, which is probably something that should be debated if that is an important fact of the opposition's, or that, there's a reason why we protect minorities, even if, the majority disagrees. Like, it's for the good of the majority, because maybe at some point they'll be a minority. I don't know. There's a lot more debate to be had here. There is a reason why our Constitution seeks to protect the majority and the minority. Economy. Both parties seem to be in favor of various business tax cuts. There is no debated distinction between these tax cuts. It seems Republicans and Democrats want to give different tax cuts to the lower and middle class. Republicans in this debate do not support infrastructure jobs. I see no reason why these jobs are bad, even if they are limited. It seems a great number of people, or maybe even a small number of people, would be helped with infrastructure and green jobs, and a great number of people helped with tax cuts, which means that for me it seems like the majority of people would be helped by tax cuts and infrastructure slash green technology jobs. I think a good way for the opposition to resolve this, or for the proposition for that matter, to better debate tax cuts would be to quantify the number of people their particular party's tax cuts would impact and explain why those cuts would impact those people. For example, it might be true that the great majority of people would be better served by the opposition's tax cuts, but I don't know this because I don't know how many people these tax cuts would impact. I only know that the opposition says that Republican tax cuts would help lower and middle class too. But this does not mean that Democrat tax cuts will not help businesses and the lower and the middle class. So I do not understand why it is one of you affects more people than the other. Everybody seems to be focused on the lower and middle class in this debate, and it seems as if they would also be benefited with jobs. So it seems like this issue for the majority of Americans comes out proposition. I enjoyed this debate. Please work more on attacking each other's issues. Enjoy your weekend, and good luck next week in the debates.